Well, folks, we just got confirmation that Canon is holding a big event tomorrow to announce a new camera, and that it's going to be a very big announcement. Well, folks, it's just been confirmed. I was able to validate from a source that Canon is indeed making a very big announcement tomorrow on May the 15th. And we actually now know one of the cameras that are going to be announced. And it's a camera that we've all been waiting for. Well, folks, there's been an awful lot of speculation about which cameras are going to be announced and when. All going back about 2 years ago. Do you remember those articles about the Canon EOS R1 saying that it would be the master of everything, a jack of all trades? And then, of course, starting with Black Friday 2022, we started hearing about bold specifications for the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. And recently we're hearing that we're going to be getting some cinema cameras. After all, we currently have 5 registered cameras that Canon registered going back as early as February the 4th, 2024. And we have some that were registered in March and then later in April the 19th. So there's an awful lot of cameras to be announced. So we only know one camera that's about to be announced. I'm so excited I can't even speak properly. Is it going to be the Canon EOS R1, the EOS R5 Mark II, a cinema camera, or all of the above? Well, thanks to a new source, we now have information thanks to an internal conversation. While the Canon EOS R1 was not mentioned specifically, we were told that they will have a new sports camera for the Olympics with pre-production units, and that this camera is aimed at sports shooter, and it's definitely not the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. And if that last quote seems a little bit vague, well, it's done on purpose, and I can tell you, I have a lot more information than is in that quote. But this is part of protecting your sources. You got to be careful not to provide all the information that you're given, because that will burn the source, get them in trouble. And that's not something I want to do, but this was an internal conversation that the source told me about. And I know what you're thinking, well, could this be the Canon EOS R3 Mark II? Or more likely, could it be the Canon EOS R5 Mark II? No, it isn't, because the nature of the conversation, it's all around sports photography. And if you're going to go to a major sporting event, such as the Paris Olympics, which was the event that was being talked about, you're not going to take the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. In fact, based on all the cameras on the market today, you're going to take either the Canon EOS R3, the 1DX Mark III, at least on the Canon side. So all the conversation, all the lingo that my source was telling me about the background information on, we are definitely leading toward, this is definitely the Canon EOS R1, unless Canon's come out with like an R2 that's a new substitute that's better than the R3 and is going to come out just ahead of the R1, which doesn't make any sense. So no, we're dealing with the Canon EOS R1, and that it's going to follow a very similar trajectory that we saw, I think, with the Canon EOS R3. So at the Olympics, we're going to have pre-production units. So if we're going to have pre-production units at this event, then what that tells me, and this is me providing analysis here, is this kind of follows what Craig at Canon Rumors had said previously, is that we're looking at some sort of, well, Q3, Q4 shipping. So if we're going to have pre-production units at the Olympics, that means we're not going to have it start shipping to customers until after that. So that's later Q3 or perhaps early Q4. It could be a September or October shipping. We don't know. We don't have any details there. That's not what the source was providing me with. And I want to take this opportunity to thank not just this source, but other sources that have reached out to me recently. I really appreciate it. And I asked this source, I said, well, why did you contact me? Why didn't you reach out to other sources? And I was told this, that they had been watching me for a very long time, and they felt that I had a sense of integrity in terms of that I was trustworthy. And to all the sources that have reached out to me, a big thank you to you, because you're what is helping make this channel grow. And for anybody who's sitting on the fence, not sure if they want to contribute, that's fine. When you're ready, if you are, reach out to me. We can even have a conversation. You don't have to provide me with any information. If you just want to talk, to get a feel, to see if I'm the type of person you can trust, to see if the person on the phone is similar to what you see on the air. But now let's go ahead and turn our attention to the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. Actually, before we get into the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, you might notice that down below in the description, I have the smart pre-order links for the Canon EOS R1. These guys here that I just floated up on the screen, and the reason for that is very simple. In case, and we don't think there's going to be any pre-orders tomorrow for the Canon EOS R1. This is going to be more of an announcement, whether it's a development announcement, a full-blown announcement, I don't know, but it doesn't seem like we're going to have pre-orders. But just in case we do, I've got the smart pre-orders in the description down below, and the reason why you might want to copy these down and put them in your bookmark in your favorite browser is once the embargo is lifted, once you are able to pre-order, go ahead and use these links, refresh your screen, because what happens is these are going to save you about 5 to 10 seconds off of pre-ordering, because what they'll show you is the body alone, the body and any kit packages that Canon offers, and then at Adorama and B&H, well, it's going to show whatever kit packages they have, so you can see every single option available on one screen, allowing you to quickly pre-order at that point. And one other note, though, I do get a small commission back, anywhere from 3 to 12%, depending on where you purchase from or what you're purchasing from. But now let's take a look at the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. So I did reach out to my source as well, and I said, look, there's really two cameras that people are very much interested in, that are keenly interested in. It's the cameras that everybody is wanting. There's really two. So if you're a sports fast action photographer, the only camera you care about right now is the EOS R1. But for most of the rest of us, well, the next camera that we're really excited about, no, it's not the R7 Mark II or the R6 Mark III. It's the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. And the source told me that based on the type of work that they do, they don't deal with those types of cameras. So he had no information. It doesn't mean that we won't have the Canon EOS R5 Mark II also announced. And I want to go back to what another source told me. It was just, oh, let me just turn that off for a minute there, put it in silent mode so I can finish this off. What a source told me last week is that Canon is getting ready for a big announcement. The Canon EOS R5 Mark II and the Canon EOS R1 are to be announced. Now, if the R1 is being announced tomorrow, it is very possible that we could have the EOS R5 Mark II also announced at the same point. But again, I have my doubts, because there's been no leaks or anything. Maybe that could happen on May the 21st. And for those of you yesterday or earlier this morning that talked about my Canon Slovenia events on May the 15th and May the 21st as being, what does this have to do with anything? Well, it's smoke, right? You've got Canon, it might be Canon Slovenia, but it's still Canon, the organization, planning two events on the 15th and the 21st, workshops with Canon ambassadors. And what that tells you is maybe somebody's letting information out before they do. But so it gives you an idea, with all the discussion that's been going on over the past month, with all the dates flying around, that this all lines up, that tomorrow is going to be a big day for Canon, at least, maybe for us, that all we know right now is going to be the Canon EOS R1. It could be the Canon EOS R5 Mark II. If I learn anything else over the next couple of hours, I will put out another video. I don't care if it's at midnight, whether it's 3 o'clock in the morning, as you can see from the time of this video and the video that I put out earlier today talking about the two Canon Slovenia events. Well, I published that at 3 o'clock in the morning. Now, in terms of time, when can we expect this announcement? Well, I don't know if it's going to be out of Canon USA's Twitter account. I don't know if it's going to be from some sort of YouTube video that's going to be splashed up with a bunch of Canon ambassadors. I don't know any of that at all. But what I do know is, going back to that Canon Slovenia event, it's going to be between 2 and 5 o'clock in the evening, which local time, that would put it at 8 a.m. New York and Toronto time. So I don't know right now, but I'm going to work hard over the next overnight trying to find out what time it is. And if I can actually get the time, I will schedule a live stream, even if there are no pre-order links, so we can talk about this camera, and then just we can take all your questions, have a discussion. I'll see if I can't get the panel together so we can have a discussion, because I'm really excited. Let me just see if I've left anything out here. Have I forgotten anything? So we covered off the R5 II, and oh yeah, so when it comes to the R5 Mark II, if we do get an announcement tomorrow, I'd be surprised if we don't have the if we don't have the pre-order links. But again, I'm still kind of on the fence about that one there. A development announcement or some sort of announcement about the R1, with it not being shipping until later Q3, it makes sense that we wouldn't have pre-order links. But the Canon EOS R5 Mark II, just in case, I've got the smart pre-order links for that camera down below as well. But a big thank you to everybody watching at home for commenting, for liking, for supporting this channel. And for everybody that's used my affiliate links down below to purchase cameras. There's a whole bunch of stuff on sale right now. You're the reason why this channel is where it is today. And now you can see, as I've entered my 5th year, just look at how many sources I've been able to cultivate in just the past 3 or 4 months alone. We're starting to grow. We're starting to gain mass. I don't care if I get to 52,000, 152,000 subscribers. What I care about is delivering you the latest camera gear, news, rumors, and reviews. And trying to get out there before anybody else. So I feel really happy to be able to break this news before anybody else. At least that's the plan. Nobody's talked about it right now. But, you know, it takes a bit of time to edit this video and get it out. Thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day, and don't be surprised if we see each other really soon.